Welcome to your second lesson on how to create a comic strip. In this video we are going to make our own script and planning the panels for our comic. Once you decided what type of jokes you want to illustrate, we are going to get started on making a 3-panel comic, something very simple but funny. Here I will show you how I usually write the script for the comic strip. The first thing that I think about is the general idea of the strip and write it down. This will help me know if the joke is funny or not. For this lesson I will use this idea. A little kid named Roy is sitting on his school desk. The teacher is asking for his homework. He invents an excuse saying that no one uses equations in real life. The teacher calls his bluff and Roy surrenders by saying it was worth to try. As you can see, my comic strip is inspired by the strips from Calvin and Hobbes because it's the kind of jokes that I like to tell. Remember to work with something that inspires your humor and that makes you laugh. Now that we have our main idea, I will divide it into panels. For this idea, I will only use 3 panels. On my script, I always write the number of the panel, then the actions that happen on that panel and the dialogue of my characters. On my first panel the action is, Roy is sitting on his desk looking to the teacher. The dialogue is from the teacher that says, "Roy, did you bring your homework?" The second panel is where Roy speaks his mind about the homework, saying, "In all of the years you have been here on Earth, have you ever used an equation?" On this panel the action is just Roy talking. And then on my final panel comes the punchline. The teacher replies to Roy saying, "You didn't do it, did you?" And Roy finishes the joke with, "Worth a try." The action here is Roy looking now to us disappointed. This is an example of how I write my scripts. I keep them simple but self-explanatory. If it works in the script, then it will work perfectly when drawn. Now we are going to talk about our thumbnails for the comic strip. Before you think about the art of your comic, you have to plan first the layout of your panels. You have to ask yourself these questions. Where is the character going to be located? Where am I going to put the speech bubbles? And does the comic flow correctly? Please take a look at the image in front of you. I created a layout of the 3 panels that I'm going to use. Nothing very crazy, just keeping the comic simple. I will now show you the size of my panels. It's 8 cm wide by 10 cm tall. Now we are going to make the composition of the 3 panels. I am going to make some quick sketches with simple figures inside my panels to help me see if the comic strip works or not. I will explain the process I use for this step. I created some simple figures to indicate the elements that I will be using for the comic. The square represents Roy, our main character. The rectangle is going to be his desk and the circles are going to be used for the speech bubbles. If you are a more advanced illustrator, you can start drawing some more defined figures of your characters inside your panels. But I am doing it this way so you can see how simple it can be achieving the same results. On my first panel I will put the main character, in this case the square. I will put him on the lower left corner of the panel. I will also put the rectangle to indicate the desk. With the marquee tool I selected the figure and with Ctrl J on the keyboard I duplicated it. For the next 2 panels, I will use a time-lapse video. You will still see the process of what I do, and if anything comes up, I will take the opportunity and explain it there. If you need to go back on the video, please do. The time-lapse will be on a very decent speed, so you can appreciate everything that is happening. Just as the script says, here we will also put a circle to indicate the speech bubble of the teacher. I will continue doing this for the second and third panel. Remember to follow your own figures so you won't get lost while doing the composition. On the speech bubbles, I decided to add the direction from where the dialogue comes from. Using my brush tool and the same color of the bubbles, I draw the details by hand. The important thing on this step is for you to understand your thumbnails, so feel free to add as much detail as you want on your figures. Take advantage of the planning part and experiment different locations for your character and speech bubbles. Now we have the thumbnail that will help us create our comic strip. As you can see, this is like a little map so we can know where to put every element in place and everything is understandable. This is the end of this video. On the next lesson we are going to sketch the concept art of our main character. Please let me know if you have any doubts or concerns. Thank you so much for watching and goodbye.